first. Driver Carrington gets dumped by Benami. The leaders are winding up here. Daytona. The big one is out. Good evening, race fans. Welcome back. It's time for the League Zero Racing Series, the premier Formula 3 iRacing League. Today, we're at the virtual Monza, and my name is James East. I will be your virtual host here, bringing the action 1080p 60 frames a second on behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. Let's see what's going to happen here tonight as we have 32 drivers making their way out, and it is going to be quite the busy night here today as we wait for drivers to get out onto the grid. Let's run it through a full house. Josh Green starts on pole. Flo Dom starting second. Kevin Burrows third on the grid. Nick Peterson starting fourth. Terry Crouch starting fifth. Brent Duan starting sixth. Raymond Aguilar starts seventh. Brad Tritton starting eighth. Danilo Sparapani starting ninth. Chase Small 10th on the grid. Peter Rettinger starting 11th. Varun Patel starts 12th. Cycling it back, the world-famous Gareth McAllister starting 13th. Antonio Bianchi 14th on the grid. Connor Scribner starting 15th. John Kasai 16th. Hunter Graves will be 17th. Xavier Zanave starting 18th. Andrew Neri starts 19th. Dustin Oberlo starting 20th. Michael Fairchild 21st on the grid. Felipe Garcia starting 22nd. Ryan Thibault starting 23rd. Felipe Ramos starting 24th. Then we've got Norman King starting 25th. Levi Opich 26th on the grid. Kenneth Hudak starting 27th. Matt Foster 28th. Anthony Asianati starting 29th. Ricardo Espino starts 30th. Rohit Rout starts 31st, and then John Lynch rounds out the field here today. Again, an absolutely packed house. Going to be interested as we do have that poll up for our viewers at home. Well, let us know what you think. Are we going to see the safety car come out tonight is the big question. So far, 83% of our viewers are in the affirmative, saying it's definitely going to happen. We got Amarani saying, let's go Fundeo Racing. Alex Penn calling a top 10 for Gareth McAllister, the world-famous Australian. As we wait for the lights to come on here at Monza. Let's go ahead and hide that little guy until we get the start. I want to see all the action unfold here. 32-car grid. Some of the best Formula 3 racers on the iRacing service across the world. Multiple countries represented here tonight. Fernandez also cheering on Fundeo Racing. Hopefully I'm saying that right for you guys at home. Lights getting ready to come on. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Start so far looks good as Josh Green leads the party into the chicane. Now this is where it's going to get quite exciting. As let's look further back in the field, and here comes the carnage. Everybody checking up to avoid getting to each other. But it looks like we got through clean here. As we're going to go on board with Kevin Burrows running third. He's behind Flo Doms and Josh Green early on tonight. And so far, things are looking pretty good here at Monza. We got through the first set of corners. That was the biggest concern. But as I say that, commentator's curse strikes once more. I believe that was Bianchi who found himself off track. Gets it collected. Bianchi currently running 14th, exactly where he started. But man, oh man, what a massive field here today. And now we've got a battle for the lead between Flo Doms, Josh Green, Kevin Burrows trying to get in the mix as well. A lot of drafting opportunities here today as Josh Green takes over the lead from Doms. Alex Penn saying, can't believe it went clean through the first section. I've got to be in agreement. And no, there goes Doms with what may have been a self-spin in that number 13 machine. Tries to rejoin as safely as he can, but he's going to get swallowed up by the field, dropping back to 11th, 12th, 13th. And what a madhouse here at Monza as we see somebody else going off track. I believe that was Ryan Thibault, who maybe have lawn darted himself there. Yes, he is in big trouble. As we go back up front, it is Green, Burrows, Crouch, Aguilar, Peterson running in the top 5. And Green has a lot of company here today. Maybe the draft allowing these guys to stay together. And uh-oh, more disaster as Gareth McAllister, the Australian, finds himself pointing in the wrong direction. He's collected himself with his good friend Andrew Neri. Both drivers involved in an incident. Both drivers were looking for a top 10 here today. They're going to keep crashing behind them with Kenneth Huddock and Levi Opitz involved. Monza chewing them up here in the opening laps. I like that. Gareth McAllister, the Australian Minister of Offense. McAllister racing with a large portion of the audience in the past, so good to see that repertoire built up along his fellow racers who are joining us today to cheer on the guys. And speaking of, thank you everybody so much from across the world that tunes in week and week out, leaves a like on the video, and subscribes to the Team Goon Squad broadcasting channel. It's a lot more fun up here in the booth when we have great fans from across the world. As the top 4 drivers, Green, Burrows, Crouch, Aguilar, have a bit of a breakaway from Peterson running 5th on track. You can see Peterson kind of all by himself in that number 24 machine trying to pick up the draft. But what a frantic opening pair of laps in the feature event here tonight. Now it is 24 laps or 45 minutes, whatever comes first. And then we will roll into the sprint race later today. We've got another incident out on the circuit. It looks like it's Hunter Graves and possibly Redinger that may have been involved in an incident. Let's take a quick look back, see what happened between the two. There's Redinger in the all-black 44. Does he get hit with the old Punterino? Yes, he does. And goes sliding off in the chicane, waiting safely for the field to rejoin. Uh-oh, you ever had a crash so hard it breaks the live timing software? We have, ladies and gentlemen. Gonna try and get that corrected here. Something's gone horribly wrong up here in the broadcast booth, but no worries, we'll get it rocking and rolling here in a moment. Try and reload that overlay. No, something's wrong here, folks. Let's get that amended for everybody at home. My greatest apologies. Monza's just too much for the software to handle tonight. As we're going to wait for live timing to update here, it's still Green, Crouch, Burrows, Aguilar running strong in the top part of the field. As we had several drivers involved in an incident here. Looks like it was Dom, Scribner, Tebow, Bianchi, all taking a tow back to pit road, so they will be retired from this race and not going back out. As Josh Green's just clicking off laps, making it look easy here, not having too many problems or worries. Able to avoid a lot of the carnage. Rohit may have had problems as we see him go through the pass-through section of the raceway to safely rejoin, but that number 10 machine may be crab walking a little bit. Kevin Burrows running third on track. He's getting chased by Raymond Aguilar. Aguilar, no stranger, running up front. We're going to pan to Aguilar's onboard. That is what 0.2 of a second looks like in a Formula 3 machine. Trying to flick it through the corners here at Monza. These high horsepower machines have a lot of fun. As we get word from, I believe that's Flo Doms, he may have been involved in that incident with Gareth McAllister. That's one of the great parts here about League Zero is a lot of friends on and off the track and guys willing to man up if they make a mistake and say, hey, I'm sorry, and usually that's enough to make things right. As man, oh man, our broadcast software kind of wigging out here tonight. Green with the fastest lap of the race, all 1:44.45. He is about 0.3 faster than the competition at this point, but let's go a little bit further back in the field where Michael Fairchild and John Kasai were having a heated battle. And this will be the battle for ninth. That's one of the best parts about calling the action here at League Zero. It's just great racing all across the track. Now there was an update to the points and scoring as well, where the top 15 drivers now get points, and it'll be the top 12 of this feature event will be inverted for the sprint race. So keep an eye on that. That makes the 12th place spot extremely crucial. Ryan Tebow, he's also hopping in the chat as well after having to retire early from this feature event. As it looks like Rohit Rout, Felipe Garcia, no, Felipe's out on track, Antonio Bianchi, Flo Doms, Brendan Duwan, Connor Scribner, and Ryan Tebow all out of this race tonight. And now we've got another battle for fourth. Nick Peterson fending off Kevin Burrows, the number 80 machine. Running side by side here. Let's see who's got it down into the first bus stop. Right now, it's Xavier Zanave running 12th. He's in that final transfer spot for the inversion. If he can do well and maintain that position, that means he'll be starting on pole in the sprint race, which is going to be non-stop action. As Peterson has extended his gap to Burrows by about 0.8 of a second. Another battle shaping up once more. It's going to be Michael Fairchild in the number 88 machine. He's getting stalked by John Kasai, the number 3. Both drivers having a good day so far. As Kasai kicks the tires out, grabbing a little bit of the kitty litter here at Monza. And that will slightly hurt his drive and allow Fairchild to pull just maybe another 10th down the backstretch. As you see Fairchild trying to break the draft and get set up for this set of very fast sweeping corners. Man, what a beautiful shot. All these guys out here pushing hard. And look at that. Third place, Raymond Aguilar sets the fastest lap of the race on 144.31. We are 7 laps into this 24-lap feature, and guys are still finding more pace. As we're still watching John Kasai trying to catch up to Fairchild. He swings the inside line, getting set up for the chicane. Now, he'll have it in the first part, but what about the second part? It looks like Fairchild may yield the position here. No, he answers back to Kasai on the inside line. Kasai has the drive. And that preferred inside line, so John Kasai will squeeze his way up into 9th. But I don't think Fairchild's going to let him away that easy. As now Fairchild tries to get set up for a pass into the left-hander. Backs out of it. Kasai will hold on to it once more. And now Fairchild's going to have his hands full as these two, Fairchild and Kasai, are battling back and forth. That's allowing the likes of Dustin Oberlo, Xavier Zanave, Hunter Graves all into the mix here. So every time these drivers start battling hard, it slows the pace down, allows the field to stack back up, and that's where things can get mighty exciting very quickly, especially with such a draft-intense track such as Monza. Side-by-side action once more between Fairchild and Kasai. These guys are battling like it's for a race win here on lap 7. This is the battle for 9th on screen, ladies and gentlemen. And no, Fairchild goes around. Did he get help maybe from behind? As I believe that was Dustin Oberlo also involved in that one. Now Fairchild will find himself 13th on track as here comes Peter Renger with a much better drive in the number 44 machine. Xavier Zanave has moved up to 9th. It's just great racing all across the board. Asianati gets his number 23 machine fired back off after an off-track excursion. And there goes Oberlo, the number 42 machine. Oberlo, who's had his fair share of incidents. And Aguilar up front, though, running third in the 72, keeps getting faster, clicks off a 144.19 that time by. Curious to see what's going on with the timing, as every time I think we pan to Aguilar, the screen breaks. Very interesting. So it may be Raymond Aguilar, something going on with the transponders, throwing off the entirety of the broadcast software. Never seen that one before. As Josh Green holds on to a comfortable 2.5 second lead. Raymond Aguilar about a second behind, Crouch 2.5 seconds behind. Aguilar is about a second off Crouch. Trying to pick up the draft from that number 59 machine, but Crouch, a newcomer to the series, has been very quick so far this season. As you all go on board the number 59 machine, you can see Green up there in the distance, as now Green and Crouch both have identical fastest laps. Both drivers clicking off 144.15s. as Ascianati takes a tow back to pit road. And now Aguilar's not breaking the live timing software, so that's fantastic, as he still runs third. All three of the top three drivers clicking off almost identical lap times here. Green doing it out front with a clean track, while Crouch and Aguilar may be using the draft off each other. As there you can see Nick Peterson 3.7 seconds back, with Kevin Burrows right on his tail. And Josh Green's got to answer with his own fastest lap of the race, on 144.1. While Crouch, ooh, look at that. Aguilar with a 144.08, but it does not show as a clean lap. He must have had an off track during that blistering fast lap time. And let's go check out the battle for ninth between Xavier Zanave and Hunter Graves. Graves right on the gearbox of that number 12 of Zanave, taking a peek on the inside. And that all-yellow number 37 machine. And Hunter Graves will take over the ninth place position. Here goes Varun Patel. He's trying to track down Norman King. As Patel regains some ground here on King in that number 28 machine. It's about a 4/10 difference between the two. And trying to work that draft as hard as he can in the battle for 15th. Now, we say this every week, but there's great racing all across the track. Doesn't matter if you're battling for the lead, or maybe in the case of Patel and King, the battle for 15th. And right now, this is the closest battle we have on track, 3/10 separating King from Patel. As, oh, they are nose to tail here. Patel looks like he's playing it safe though, not wanting to put the pressure on too much, really timing his passes and when he's going to try and make that move. Now this battle right now is outside the top 12 as well, so it will not affect their transfer spot in the inverted grid for the sprint race coming up. As right now, 55% of our viewers saying we're going to see the safety car, 45% saying it's going to stay parked in Parc Ferme today. But don't forget, after this feature event, we do have the sprint race, half the laps and twice the action, as Patel takes over from King and settles down into 15th. Will King try and answer here? So now it looks like Patel and King may be working together. They're starting to get a little bit closer to Peter Rettinger in that all-black number 44 machine. Rettinger is still involved in his own battle with Michael Fairchild, as these two have been going back and forth. And now Raymond Aguilar is going to be one of the first drivers to initiate a green flag stop right at the halfway mark. Going to be interesting to see how many drivers try and stretch it out and who's going to come in a little bit early to try and get some clean track later on in the race. And let's talk about hard chargers. Andrew Neris worked his way back up to 11th in the 65 machine after his early incident. And yes, Ryan Tebow points out something very important in the battle between Patel and King, that it is the top 15 that are getting points, so well done. So that makes that battle between Patel and King just a little bit more exciting. Both drivers trying to score points and maybe score some more points. Excuse me. Aguilar, after his pit stop on lap 11, he comes back out on track in 8th. And we may have more heartbreak. Oh, my goodness, do we? Gareth McAllister has went for the very rare and sought-after Australian weight-saving program on that Formula 3 machine, completely removing the front end of the car. He was involved in an incident with Felipe Ramos, who took a tow back to pit road. Let's see what happened here, and maybe hope the broadcast software doesn't break. You're watching Gareth McAllister, number 25 machine. Not a lot you can do there, as Felipe has the problem, and Felipe, that's an interesting crash. And Gareth McAllister going to try and limp it back to pit road with no front end. A shame, as he was crawling his way back up the standings. I kind of want to see if it's going to make it a whole lap. He's getting ready to get passed by Matt Foster and then Kenneth Huddock that are running 18th and 19th. How is he still going that fast with no front end? I am astounded, I am amazed, and I am intrigued as here comes Matt Foster getting around the wounded Australian. We're going to check back in though with Nick Peterson. He's trying to fend off Kevin Burrows. Peterson in the final podium spot here, as McAllister did make it down pit road, an impressive feat in and of itself. And Andrew Neri has problems. That's going to allow Michael Fairchild and Varun Patel to edge by the 65 machine. Now, Neri and King are our two last points-paying positions here. So these guys are going to be fighting tooth and nail to hold on to it. Josh Green, your race leader, making it look easy, not having too many problems out front. He's got a comfortable 3.4 second margin over second place Terry Crouch. Is now fourth place driver Kevin Burrows comes down pit road, initiating his green flag stop. Chase Small also down pit road. But not many drivers have initiated that stop yet. It looks like it's just Raymond Aguilar, Kevin Burrows, and Peter Rettinger, the three drivers that have boxed so far. So let's keep an eye out and see when the top three, Green, Crouch, Peterson, are going to come down pit road. Green getting ready to put, I believe that's Rettinger, down a lap here. As on the left side of your screen, we pull up who has come down pit road so far. Most of the drivers staying out as long as they possibly can. As now your race leader, Green's going to come down pit road hard on their brakes to get it slowed down. Terry Crouch is going to follow him. Will Nick Peterson come down pit road as well? No, yes. Surely that may be a speeding penalty, as he was extremely hard on the brakes. Brad Tritton comes down pit road, as well as fifth place driver Sparapani. Let's see if Aguilar, no, Aguilar came in on lap 11. So let's see how this shakes things up in the top three, as now you're going to have drivers coming out at the same time. Aguilar's making his way down the start-finish line straight. Green has made his way back out onto the track. And Aguilar will come out in third after Green and Crouch have initiated their pit stops. going to the chicane, so they're going to be able to pick up some speed and not lose too much time here. But that could have been a half-second difference between Aguilar having the lead or not if he had the run going into the turn 1 here at Monza. So still a few drivers stretching out their fuel runs. Hunter Graves, Varun Patel, Matt Foster have yet to come down pit road. Those are the only 3 drivers remaining. And then we'll be able to run the rest of this on the remaining fuel in these Formula 3 machines. But now lap traffic is going to come into play, and you've got drivers on different pit strategy out there intertwined as well, excuse me. Kevin Burrows trying to catch up to Hunter Graves, who is about a second ahead of the driver of the number 80 machine, Kevin Burrows. Hunter Graves down pit road. Patel still stretching it out, and McAllister may have problems once more as he has edged it into the wall, and I believe his race, oh, that is a dangerous spot to be in for McAllister as he waits for the field to get by him. Not a lot of room for error at 190 miles an hour. Your race leader, Josh Green, still holding a 2-second advantage to Crouch. Not quite sure where Crouch came from this season, but he's come out in force. As now we've got another battle shaping up between John Kasai and Xavier Zanave in the battle for 10th. Looks like Chase Smalls may have an incident as well. Maybe a brief one as he's still pointing the right direction, and now Matt Foster having a problem into the first chicane. Green still holding that 2-second advantage over Crouch. Crouch finding just a little bit of a time. We've got word as well, Crouch, maybe the oldest driver in the field. We should give our good friend Crouch some TV time. Pushing, I believe, over 50 years is old. So well done to Crouch, coming out and beating up on the whippersnappers out here. Crouch finding just a little bit of time here and there, a few hundredths of a second, but when you're going against the likes of Josh Green It's tough when you're battling an Indy Pro 2000 driver coming out into the sim. And to be showing up cold for a series and run inside the podium and I think back-to-back weeks, well done to Crouch. Crouch finding a little bit more time. He was about 3/10 faster than Green that last time by. We may see a battle shape up after all with 5 laps left to go. Crouch doing his best to pick up the draft from Green. And no, Green has a big problem. Here comes Crouch around the outside line. We've got a race forming up for the lead. Terry, the old man Crouch, trying to put in work on the Indy 2000 driver of Josh Green. And takes over the lead. Terry Crouch is out front for the first time here tonight. Oh, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. And Raymond Aguilar about 1.6 back from this battle for the lead. The last thing neither Green nor Crouch want to do here is try and throw away a perfectly good podium. But Terry Crouch is going to defend like his life depends on it, that number 59 machine. Ooh, this is going to be exciting. Green about 4/10 back, trying to square up for a good run here. And I'm just watching in awe here as Green. It's uncharacteristic to see Green in second, and it's amazing to see Crouch out front. Raymond Aguilar is getting a little bit closer here as the top two drivers maybe not wanting to slow down over the course of the run. Oh, what's it going to be? Both drivers running nose to tail. Aguilar just slightly out of the draft, trying his best to get up there, and then we might see a three-car battle unfold. Still running nose to tail here. Raymond Aguilar still about 1.3 off Green, about a 4/10 back from Crouch. And here we go. The laps are rapidly clicking off. We've got Jeremy Barber in attendance as well, cheering on the Formula 3 drivers. Aguilar closing the gap to your race leaders. Now, both Crouch and Green came in a lap 14. Aguilar came in on lap 11. I was almost wondering at some point was maybe Crouch and Green fuel saving. Aguilar, who is arguably in the worst position to really push hard on a fuel run, is giving everything he can to try and catch up. He's just at the edge of that draft where he'll be able to catch up to Crouch and Green and pull that number 72 up towards the front. Now let's see, is he going to wait to the last section to try and pull out and make a pass on Green? And as Aguilar can get into striking distance and maybe try and make something happen. We've got Eric Green in attendance as well, cheering on Josh Green. And I think everybody is in attendance here is kind of on the same page, expecting a little bit of last-minute racecraft with just how potent the draft is. Not expecting, nope, I stand corrected. Here comes Green. He's going to charge towards the front as he clicks off the fastest lap of the race, a 144 flat, a 144.059. Green's going to fight for the lead, diving into turn one. Crouch is going to back off for a second, take over second. And here comes Aguilar. He may be picking up within striking distance as Green and Crouch punched a massive hole through the air. But did Green push too early? As now he's going to be in the best advantage to try and make a last-second slingshot pass on Josh Green. Hot Air Green saying the top two drivers may have been doing a little bit of fuel saving as well. Good to see it, a family affair here at the League Zero Formula 3 Series. A lot of great racing, a lot of fun on off the track, and man, what some great action. And look, Aguilar has caught the draft. We are going to see a final shootout here at Monza. This is going to be exciting. White flag is out. Josh Green in the lead. Terry Crouch second. Raymond Aguilar has pulled his way back into the fight. Oh, this is going to be good. Green has the drive, but Crouch has the advantage of the draft. He's on the back bumper of that 22 machine, flicking it through the corners. Aguilar finds himself about 6/10 back. And we are all watching with bated breath, and no, Crouch may have pushed wide there. Half a lap left to go here in the feature event. Then we're going to invert the top 12 for the sprint race. Green trying to break the draft of Crouch. Crouch and Aguilar working together here. Not much time left to try and make something happen for any of the top 3 drivers. Green just trying to extend that gap as much as he can to avoid getting overtaken by the second and third place drivers. And here we go. Aguilar dives to the inside line of Crouch. Will he be able to make it stick? Crouch gets pushed wide. Aguilar takes over second. That is going to all but give the win to Josh Green, who no longer has to worry about the two drafting against each other. And just like that, Terry Crouch, not sure if that was an angry wiggle or not, but it's Josh Green, Raymond Aguilar, and Terry Crouch bringing home the top 3 after a fantastic run amongst these 3 drivers. One of the best showings I think we've had so far this season or in seasons past. A great run amongst these top 3. We're going to try and get the top 3 drivers up here into victory lane after their cooldown lap. But man, one of the best races I think we've seen in a while. We're going to get our top 3 drivers up here into victory lane. And man, I cannot wait for the next one. The sprint race is going to be all sorts of out of control. So we're starting to get our drivers up here to victory lane. And up first, we're going to have Terry Stay Off My Lawn Crouch joining us, the 3rd place finisher. Terry, great racing, and that's probably one of the best finishes we've seen so far this season.
Thanks. Yeah, it's a pleasure to race with these guys. I knew Josh had me anytime he wanted. I just didn't know when it was going to be, so I liked that we were just in line trying to gap Raymond, because I kind of had Raymond in the first half of the track, and he had me in the back half, so he pulled a great move at the end. I knew it was coming. I just locked him up a little bit, and that was it.
Now, Terry, was there any trying to communicate between you and Aguilar and maybe work the draft together against Green, or was it every man for himself out there?
I think there's a little bit of intelligence early on. You want to gap the rest of the field and get out there. And I didn't know if I wanted to go by Josh at first when he almost spun it, which was a heck of a save. But then he just got in line. So once the three were there, it's pretty much just line up until it's time to go.
Well, Terry, it's great to have you up here, a newcomer to the series, but showing the kids how to get it done. It's a pleasure talking to you. Anybody want to give a shout-out to family, friends, or sponsors that's cheering you on this season?
As always, wife, kids, grandkids, my daughter, who's watching the stream, friends, my team at TLDR, and my boys at the Sim Pit. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Congratulations, Terry. Hope to see you do well in the sprint race.
Thank you. Thank you.
Up next, we've got Raymond Aguilar finishing second. Good to have you back in the booth, Raymond.
Yeah, good. I'm grateful to be here.
Now, we know round one was a little bit rough for you. Round two, things came together and pulled off a spectacular move at the end on Crouch. What is it allows you top three guys to run so close week in and week out and kind of avoid the carnage we see elsewhere in the field?
This week I'm way down on pace, but the toe at Monza it's the only thing keeping me in the game at this point.
Well, it seemed like it worked well. Now, do you think that is a hindrance at points as well when you've got guys that maybe be a half second off normally from your pace that if they can stay in the draft or there at the end, does that make it a little bit harder to make moves or plan race strategy?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a double-edged sword. You end up you can stay with in my case I can stay with people who far outclass me, and then in other cases you can't break away from people.
Well, it seemed like it worked well. Got you up on the podium in a second place. And do you have any strategy going into the sprint race tonight, which is guaranteed to be wild?
No, I'm going to stick to my game plan tonight of trying to be conservative and smooth and staying out of trouble. And, at the end of the night, I got Oreos sitting next to me. Those are my goal tonight. I want to just safely get to these Oreos.
Excellent, Raymond. Congratulations on the second. Hope you enjoy your Oreos. Who do I give a shout-out to that's cheering you on this season?
Oh, Hankook Tires, my wife Taylor, and Daphne the cat, man. That's my whole team tonight.
Well, awesome. Raymond, congratulations, man, and good luck in that sprint race.
Thanks so much.
And up next, we've got the man of the hour, Josh Green, joining us once more. And Josh, that may have been the best show we've put on so far this season.
Yeah, no, it was good fun. It was definitely a harder one for me.
Now, you say it was harder. Was it the draft package coming into effect here, or what made it a little bit tougher for you tonight at Monza?
Though I may have miscalculated fuel by a fair 2 laps and came out of pit lane with 8 laps of fuel remaining. So I had a bit of a shock in the second half of the race.
Josh Green, professional race car driver, not the pit man you're looking for in an endurance race, but how we had your dad, Eric Green, join us in the spectator area as well, and he was kind of confirming the fuel saving idea. Was that a software error? Was that just bad napkin math? What led to that decision?
I mean, I had it right going into pit lane, and I was like, you know what? I don't need that much fuel. I can take some out, and I couldn't.
I think anybody that's ever raced a long format race has been there, be it virtual or the real life stuff. I hate to see it happen for you. Were you worried there at the end with Aguilar and Crouch so close in tow that you were going to sputter towards the end, or they were going to try a last-second jab on you?
So I got that big slide, and then actually when Terry came by to pass me, I realized that the toe was actually worth way more than lifting coasting. So I got in the toe and just kind of sat behind him for a while, and it was enough to get me to 0.0 as I crossed the finish line.
Well, it seemed like it worked out well. Josh, congratulations, man. Just at the razor's edge and beating up on some folks out there. Always a lot of fun to see, despite the fuel mapping issue. Great having you out there. Great having your family tune in and cheering you on as well and saying some pretty okay things about you, so that was great to see. And I guess for to cap off this feature race, who would I give a shout-out to that's cheering you on this season?
We got both my parents, Session Guardian, Zimperium, my girl Catherine. I think that's it. That's all I got right now.
Well, awesome, Josh. Always a great time talking to you, man. Hope to see you do well in the sprint race, and congratulations on yet again finishing on the top spot here at the League Zero Series.
See you later. Thank you.
Yes, sir. That was Josh Green, all-around racing professional and just an all-right pit guy. I almost run out of gas there at the end of the feature event. Glad to see him make it till the end. We're going to run a very short commercial break here. Allow me to grab some water, but don't go anywhere as we've got about 4.5 minutes until our wild action sprint race will begin. Don't go anywhere. Be right back. All right, we're going to bring it back just a little bit early as the warm-up wraps up before our final sprint race of the night. But on behalf of Team Goon Squad and League Zero, we'd like to wish a very happy birthday to our friend Norman King, piloting the number 28 machine out here today, as well as a congratulations for earning some points on his birthday. So well done to Norman King. And again, happy birthday, buddy. Glad to have you out here in every capacity and everything that you run. Always a great time hanging out with some good friends on and off the track. But you know what that quiet noise in the background means, ladies and gentlemen? It is time for the final sprint race of the night, as we're going to get them gridded up and get ready for what could be absolutely spectacular start here. We're going to leave that overlay off until the drivers get going, because I think this is one you're going to want to see in its full capacity. If there was ever a race start where things could get exciting, it is this one for the sprint race. 32 drivers going to be pushing very hard here. As yes, look at the left side of your screen. No, it looks like it's going to be 25 now, but 12 laps to try and make something happen with John Kasai out front. Hunter Graves starts second, Chase Small third, Danilo Sparapani fourth, Brad Tritton fifth, Kevin Burrows sixth, Nick Peterson seventh, Terry Crouch starting eighth, Raymond Aguilar starting ninth, and Josh Green starting 10th. So I guess it is a top 10 inversion tonight. Intel may have been bad, but here we go. Getting ready for the lights to come on here for the final sprint race of the evening. And away they go. Already drivers swerving all over the place. It's a mad dash. And John Kasai is going to lead the field into turn one as we go 3, 4 wide in these open wheels as somebody gets bouncing around. They've locked wheels towards the back. And there's the carnage we expected. It's going to be a parking lot from about the back. Oh my goodness. Where's our corner worker? He watches on in awe as there's bodywork strewn all over the raceway. How many drivers have been collected? It's too many to count, as John Kasai will hold on to the race lead here. Who wasn't involved in that one? Nick Peterson, Brandon Dewan definitely out. Gareth McAllister looks to be out as well. Chase Small takes over the lead from John Kasai. And they're still crashing. That was Dustin Oberlo pirouetting around in the number 7 machine. My goodness, Monza is here to deliver, ladies and gentlemen. And Sparapani, oh my. That may be the most violent crash I've ever seen. I believe that was Scribner. No, it wasn't Scribner. Maybe, was that Neri? Trying to see who was that got launched to absolute orbit. Let's take a look here and see. That may have been Neri who got sent to the grandstands. Let's go ahead and Neri gets tagged once. He sits patiently waiting for a clean track, and maybe it wasn't Neri, as we saw somebody get launched to orbit during that incident. So who was that involved in that one? Trying to see, somebody got just absolutely launched. Quentin Orberlo, I'll try and get another look pulled up here shortly. But they are just wadding up machines out here today. As now we show Brad Tritton, Terry Kraus, John Kasai, Xavier Zanabe, Michael Fairchild, all involved in more incidents. It's a bloodbath here, ladies and gentlemen. As now we're watching Tritton's point of view, going 3 wide into turn 1, thinking better of it. Somebody locks up the brakes. And then, ooh, yes, that was Crouch, who gets pulverized. He takes a tow, and just like that, the heat races always deliver the action, as now it's Chase Small out front with a very comfortable 4-second advantage. What a wild start to the sprint race. Chase Small out front with a 4-second gap. Let's go a little bit further back in the field. So that's going to be Peter Renger trying to chase down Flo Doms. Everybody pushing hard again. Only 12 laps to try and make something happen. And I think to the 53% of our viewers that said the safety car is not going to come out, I believe you may be right here, ladies and gentlemen. If we can survive the opening laps of the sprint race, we can survive anything together. As we are watching the battle for 8th, Levi Opitz trying to catch up to Peter Renger, while Renger trying to catch up to Doms and work his way up into 7th. Opitz has an off track though, so that's going to allow Renger to really just focus on what's ahead of him. Is that? Oh, that's Graves going for a wild ride. No, that was Opitz. Getting careened across the track here. He takes a tow back to pit road, but they are still sacrificing some body work to the racing God, I apologize for laughing. We got Terry Crouch joining us in the spectator area as well. He has packed the rig up. He has grabbed a cup of coffee, and he is watching from the holler at this point after a very spectacular crash early on the sprint. Now, it's not a question of if or when the crash comes out in these sprint races. It's more of a who will be the poor innocent bystander getting collected in it. As the previous podium setters, it is only Raymond Aguilar after the feature event. He is the only previous podium finisher still out on track running 2nd. Peter Renger once again trying to track down Norman King. Now the race prior, they were battling for the final points positions of 14th and 15th. And now they're battling for the 6th place spot, as well as Flo Doms is in the party as well, running in that number 13 machine. He's about a half second back from Renger. Renger about 6/10 back from King. As here comes Renger trying to work his way alongside King. King in the number 28, Renger in the 44. Renger makes the pass and does so cleanly. But here comes Doms rocketing his way into the party as well. Let's go on board with Doms, the number 13 machine. Looking for a way around King to take over 7th place spot. And just behind these guys, you've got Hunter Graves, Varun Patel also trying to join the fray as well. Dom shows just ahead of King. He will have the pass completed. 2nd place, Raymond Aguilar clicks off the fastest lap of the race on 144.81. No, it was Small. I misread with a 146.47. Still holds the fastest lap of the race, the fastest clean lap of the race, I should say. As we were watching the massive battle for 6th, it's Renger, Doms, King all in the mix here as Doms and King keep going back and forth. Renger's got to be happy to see that in his rearview mirror, knowing if he slows down the pace even more, Hunter Graves and Patel will join that fray as well, and maybe allow the Austrian driver of Renger to get away cleanly here and hold on to 6th relatively uncontested. As we were watching Doms and Renger, who were linked up nose to tail in an extremely heated battle for 6th. Renger did not get his wish of getting away from the fray. The fray has been brought to him. As now Doms takes a peek at the inside line, thinks better of it, hops back in the draft. maybe trying to get a peek at what's going on in front, or maybe just trying to give Renger a bit of a fake out and get him offline and facilitate an easier pass. Renger trying to break the draft of Dom's, not able to do so. Dom staying right in tow here. And no, I spoke earlier, he takes a peek once more at the inside line against Renger. King looks to the inside line of Graves. As shockingly, the battle for 6th has the most amount of action. You've also got the battle for 9th as well between King and Patel. I want to say Renger and King may be teammates out here. I'll try and get confirmation on that as well. No, I believe I am incorrect on that assumption. So let's check back in on Patel and King. We're putting on a show of their own in the battle for 9th. King trying to maximize those birthday points as Patel is to the inside line. He's got the drive at the start-finish line by 0.02 of a second. But it looks like, no, Patel will have it here. The two hot topics of conversation is the battle between Renger and Doms for 6th and Patel and King for 9th. Aguilar running second, still about 1.3 back from your race leader Chase Small. Small having a great run here. Able to get out front, just click off laps and not worry about too many problems. He's got a clean track ahead of him, no pit stop cycles to worry about in this sprint race. Only 5 laps remaining. As Patel may have shaken off King, but Renger has not done the same for Doms. Doms still all over the back is, oh my goodness! No, both drivers have gotten taken out. Renger missed his mark. And we're trying to get a camera angle. Renger is done. Is Doms done as well? Yes, both drivers have completely bent it. Oh, that's just not good. Renger goes airborne, almost lands on Doms, and both drivers are completely totaled their machines. Dom's still sitting there wondering what on earth just happened. As there may be a little bit of hand waving and finger pointing on that one. As we check in on Chase Small, your race leader. It is a bloodbath at Monza here tonight. So now you've got Michael Fairchild running 5th. He's starting to gain ground to Xavier Zanave. Meanwhile, a rookie to the series, Rohit Rout, he's worked his way up inside the top 10. As something almost happened between him and Oberlo there. Felipe Garcia also in the mix running 13th. Chase Small holding on a comfortable lead, but he's got 3 laps and may have traffic by the end of this. And look at this, Fairchild and Zanave still having a battle, a heated battle for 4th. As Fairchild trying to fend off against Zanave here. Looks like Fairchild and Zanave playing yo-yos with the lap times, as well as the relative 6/10 still separating these 2 drivers in the battle for 4th. Felipe Garcia, he's about a half-second back off Dustin Oberlo in the battle for 10th. As let's see how many drivers have retired from this event. Looks like about 18th place all the way back to 32nd are out of the event. I believe we had 25 start here tonight. As we're going to check in with our race leader, Chase Small, still holding about a 1.9 second advantage over Aguilar. And both drivers running almost identical pace here tonight late in the race. Only a couple short laps left to go. Man, oh man, look at Small blitz past. Drivers hitting speeds of about 170 miles an hour here. Aguilar, that looks a lot closer than 1.8 seconds, let me tell you. As Aguilar seems to have gained a couple of tenths there, now back to about a 1.5 seconds off the back gearbox of Aguilar. Gonna be curious to see. He's gonna have to really find some time here, or maybe see if Small makes a mistake, if Aguilar wants a shot at bringing home the top position here today in the sprint race. Terry Crouch aptly putting it's about enough guys that have parked already to fill 4 basketball teams, to give our NBA viewers here tonight something to relate to. I'd assume that's a good analogy. I have no idea about basketball sports. I'm going to trust the pro Terry Crouch on that one. Aguilar finding hundredths of a second in a game where he needs tenths. As some of our fans starting to bet on Aguilar here. Almost looked like Small gets just slightly better drive out of the first chicane. By a few hundredths of a second, it looks like. That last time by, Aguilar was about a 1/4 second faster that lap with a 1:44.74, Small with a 1:45.09. But now he's less than 1.3 back from your race leader, Chase Small. Brad Tritton still in 3rd. He's about 7.5 seconds back from your race leader. And look at this, Aguilar's found some pace now within 1 second. Starting to get within striking distance. He may pick up the draft from that number 5 machine. No. Interesting enough, he goes way to the right side of the circuit. Driver's right, I should say. I was wondering if he thought Small was going to move there and was trying to preemptively time the draft. But Small held true here. Right at 1 second is Aguilar going to pick up the draft as the white flag comes out in the final sprint race of the night. And Aguilar sets the pace 4/10 faster with a 1:44.51. That's our fastest lap of the race. And now is within a half second. He may have caught the draft from Chase Small. Small continues to have just a little bit better drive out of the first chicane. I think Aguilar may be a little bit faster in the second part of the raceways. Here we go. Driver's working to try and break the draft, and Aguilar might have swerved too much there, as now he's 1.2, 1.3 off the back bumper of Small. I don't know. I think Aguilar may have given it up there with the weaving. Weaving more than the race leader did. Let's see what's going to happen. 1.2 separating the two. We've got about a half section of the raceway still left. Aguilar is going to have to work real hard here to make something happen, as he is very far back. Now at 1 second, using all of the circuit and then a few feet. It's 8/10. It's 9/10. Aguilar's coming fast. Are we going to see a major push from Aguilar here? Or team orders in effect, half second back, 4/10, 3/10. It's going to be a drag race. As I think I heard Small lift there. Chase Small will pick up the win. Raymond Aguilar gets second. And Brad Tritton will bring home a third with a resounding finish. And Chase Small, Raymond Aguilar are going to celebrate in their own style. As we're going to try and get our top 3 drivers up here into victory lane. As the rest of the field crosses the line. There we go. We got Brad Tritton. We got Chase Small. That's enough to have a party started. Up first, we're going to have Brad Tritton, the number 26 machine, join us on the podium in that number 26. Chase, you got to be happy, all things considered. You avoid the sprint race carnage and put it up here and scored some much-needed points here tonight at Monza.
Yeah, that avoid is that's used loosely. But I survived. That's the goal every race, is to survive. Once again, did well without really trying to pass anybody.
Well, it seemed like the strategy worked well for you. Just let the seas part like the racing Formula 3 Moses, and just be happy for all the spots you're able to grab cleanly. What do you think made Monza so exciting? Was it turn 1, or was it elsewhere on the track that led to the carnage, or what was it like from your cockpit in the number 26 machine?
Ascari is a scary. It's just it's just the car's all over the place with the low downforce there. And then with the chicanes, it's really hard to get two cars through all the chicanes because they're so tight.
Yeah, open wheel racing tends to lead to some excitement. Now, were you expecting the safety car to come out after that turn one pileup, or were you pretty comfortable you're going to keep it green till the end?
I just saw mayhem behind me and went, well, and just kept going. If the safety car comes out, it comes out. It's not any. Yep.
Well,
I didn't think about it.
licking the stamp and absolutely sending it. Glad it worked out well for you, Brad. Who would I give a shout out to that's helping cheer you on this season and getting you up here in victory lane?
I think I have to give a shout out to my wife because she made popcorn, and it sounds rather good right now.
Popcorn, the dinner of champions. Brad, congratulations on your third tonight, and hope to see you back up here next week, my friend.
Sounds good. Thanks, James.
That was Brad Tritton bringing home the third place spot. Next, we've got Raymond Aguilar up in victory lane for the second time tonight. Raymond, looked like there may have been some team orders there at the end.
Yeah, not a great night for me. Not a great night for my contractor for the sport. This is we got some word to just hold position and not race from our team, our race engineer Tom in Bowling Green.
Classic Tom, always throwing a wrench in things. Now, do you think you had the pace to stay with Small, or was he pretty smooth throughout the run tonight?
Oh yeah, I definitely had the pace to. He's terrible. I had the pace to stay with him the whole time, but I was told to hold position, and money talks.
Yeah, I guess it does. Big money on the line here for the League Zero Formula 3 series. Now, we saw both of you guys giving a wiggle. Was that a acknowledgement to the fans, your race engineer Tom, or what was the strategy behind you guys shimmying down the backstretch?
Yeah, no, most of it was just to conserve fuel, and I'm just for me to hold position overall. The guy puts in his 2 weeks notice. Next thing you know, they think he's the world leader and champion here.
Well, classic Formula politics. What do you do about it besides go out there with a strong finish in that number 72 machine? Back up here in victory lane. Seems like Monzo is more forgiving than the season opener, so good to have you back out here, Ryman. And for the final time, Sans Tom, who would you like to give a shout out to?
I just want to thank, not my team tonight, but I want to thank my wife, and I'm grateful to have the opportunity to do this stuff. Daphne, Mitzi, Zoe, all of them.
And what Oreos will you be partaking in after your back-to-back podium?
Okay, I'm glad you asked me that because there's a big deal here. I'll make it short. But double stuffs are the wrong way to go. The regular classic stuff are the right proportion of cracker, cookie to cream. You can tell me I'm wrong all day long, but I've never been wrong before.
Well, Aguilar with the controversial opinions as always. Great having you up here, my friend. Despite your wrong choice in snackware, it's always a good time talking to you. And congratulations again on getting up here in second.
Yep, thanks for doing this, James.
Thank you, Raymond. And up next, the man of the hour, Chase Small, bringing it home in the top spot. Chase, it seemed like your teammate Aguilar was maybe a little bit disgruntled with the team orders tonight. What do you have to say on the matter?
Yeah, our race engineer Tom from Bowling Green, Kentucky called in and said, we got to keep these cars in one piece. He didn't want us fighting. We had a 1-2. We had a 1-2 last year as well, so he wanted it that way for the team. So I'm proud of the team, and that's the way we've kept it.
Well, it was a great run out there. You were out front for a long time, even on your own accord. I mean, nothing can detract. You ran 8, 9, 10 laps extremely clean and putting down some of the fastest laps of the race. Chase, it was great seeing you out there. What was the strategy to try and survive these opening laps, as we saw more than half the field go home early tonight?
Yeah, at the start, whoever was in first just kind of let me by, and so I was out there by myself, and then some carnage. I've heard there was some carnage in turn 1 of lap 2, and then I kind of had a 5, 6, 7 second lead, and then I knew Ray was behind me, so if Brad was going to make a charge, I knew he had my back, and then team wars at the end. But it was a pretty easy race. I was sweating a little bit, made sure I didn't want to put it in the wall, but overall it was fun.
Well, Chase, you made it look clean. It's good having you up here in victory lane in the top spot and kept that number 5 relatively shiny all night long. What are the plans for you and the team going forward in the season and the upcoming rounds?
We're just trying to keep it clean this year. We noticed last year we had a couple too many DNFs, and this year we're just trying to keep it clean, bring it home in the top 10 every race, and see where we are. At the end of the season, we're going for a championship run this year. Ray's trying to go for an individual championship run, so it's a long season. Anything can happen.
Well, awesome. Chase, always a great time talking. You have the distinct pleasure. The floor is all yours, my friend, for any friends, family, sponsors, shout-outs you'd like to give that's cheering you and that number 5 machine on this season.
I want to thank Ray. I want to thank the rest of the boys at the team back at the garage. Our engineer Tom. I would thank my wife, but she fell asleep, so she's not getting a shout out tonight.
Oh, don't let her see this or you're in big, big trouble. Chase, great time talking to you, my friend. Congratulations on a very well-deserved win. It was a great time watching you race and race clean, and hope to see you carry that continued success into the very near future.
Thank you. You have a good night.
You as well, sir. And that was Chase Small in the top spot after quite a wild night here at the sprint race, and where it was Chase Small, Raymond Aguilar, Brad Tritton rounding out our podium in a wild finish here for the sprint race. On behalf of LeagueZero.net as well as Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, thank you all so much to friends, family, fans, racers, everybody that makes these broadcasts what they are. We couldn't do it without you, and we will be back same time, same place next week. Have a great night, everyone.